Welcome back, fight fans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Just when UFC fans thought they could take a breather from the chaos that followed UFC 313, another bombshell has dropped. UFC CEO Dana White is now making headlines for a completely different reason: his ambitious plans for a new boxing league under the TKO Group. The announcement, which came a few days ago, has ignited a fresh wave of speculation, particularly about whether there will be any crossover between boxing and MMA fighters under this new structure. This revelation, however, delivers a major blow to Alex Pereira and his aspirations of stepping into the boxing ring against heavyweight champion Alalshikh. Pereira had previously expressed interest in fighting the Ukrainian boxing star, and Usyk himself seemed open to the idea. The 37-year-old former light heavyweight UFC champion had spoken publicly about his dream matchups, mentioning top-tier MMA opponents like John Jones and Dricus du Plessis. But what really caught fans' attention was his mention of a potential boxing showdown with Usyk. Unfortunately, that possibility has now been shut down, perhaps for good. White has made it clear that his primary focus is on building this new boxing venture from the ground up, rather than blending it with the UFC in any way. In a recent interview, the UFC boss stated, "I just felt it, do everything by gut. Number one. Number two, the first thing that needs to be done is we need to build an infrastructure. We need to build the right team, for this project. I always surround myself with really good people, For fans who had been hoping to see more crossover fights between MMA and boxing, this news comes as a disappointment. White's statement strongly suggests that, rather than facilitating MMA fighters' forays into boxing, his main goal is to establish a separate and well-structured boxing league. For Pereira, this development presents a significant hurdle. His ambitions of testing himself against one of boxing's elite competitors have been effectively crushed, at least under the UFC banner. While there may still be paths for him to transition to boxing independently, that would likely require stepping away from the UFC, which could complicate things contractually. This also raises a broader question about the future of crossover fights. With Dana White taking a firm stance on keeping the two sports separate under his management, it may signal the end of the recent trend where MMA stars were making high-profile boxing appearances. While promotions like PFL and independent contracts may still allow fighters to explore boxing opportunities, it seems clear that White has no intention of letting UFC athletes participate in these events while under his watch. White's new boxing venture, which he is launching alongside Turkey Alalshikh, is already making waves in the combat sports world. While details are still emerging, one thing is clear: White is serious about building something substantial. However, this also means that UFC fighters looking to cross over into boxing, like Alex Pereira, will not have an easy path under White's leadership. His focus will be on creating a self-sustaining boxing league rather than entertaining crossover fights that could dilute the brand's vision. However, Pereira could take inspiration from former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, who found a way to make his boxing aspirations a reality despite UFC constraints. Ngannou's decision to leave the UFC for a more flexible contract with the PFL allowed him to take lucrative boxing matches while still keeping his MMA career alive. While it's unlikely that Pereira will follow the exact same path, his situation does highlight the challenges fighters face when balancing career aspirations with contractual obligations. Dana White's commitment to building a strong and independent boxing league has effectively ended any hopes of a Pereira-Usyk showdown. While this news is disappointing for fans who are eager to see another high-profile crossover fight, it also signals a new era for both the UFC and the boxing world. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the latest developments in the combat sports world, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you the latest news, insights, and analysis on all things UFC, boxing, and beyond. Stay tuned for more updates, and let us know in the comments what you think about Dana White's new boxing venture. Do you think it will succeed? See you in the next one.